good and they both face for. Easy body, you're so wicked, they walk.
You know, as I'm watching on television now, they paint them. That is all. And they sweet there. When they see me appear like this, they paint them. And I promise them, I'm here to bury them. I see they paint them, they sweet us. I see the rain dust, they pay. When you say, I see the pain them, they see dust. I see the sweet dust, they go they pay. I see the pain them, they see dust. Face me and face you. Every morning, every afternoon, every night, weekend, every time, weekend. Weekend is not important. Why are you worried? Weekend is not important. Why are you worried? Allow weekend to rest. A big man, a big man, a big man, a big.
A big man, is a big man with money, a money bag. You know what I mean? And in Nigeria, they say, in everything, are you with me? In everything you do, just make sure say you have money. And talking about money, ladies and gentlemen, you have probably been in the know already about the crashing naira. Yeah? Well, I was reading somewhere. Well, I actually was following an engagement or sort of a conversation between those of you. If you are watching me from Nigeria right now, normally, with the state of what they have done to Nigeria now, with the state that Nigeria is in right now, and Nigerians inside Nigeria, it would have actually make some sense. As you said, as they told you, they are offering to dig you out of the well they dumped you, right? So it will make so much sense if there is actually any of them speaking with clarity, with reliable data, and tell you what and how they're going to get you out of this sinkhole. So far, so good. If you listen to the Nigerian politicians talking right now, even though as every day, things continue to get worse and worse and worse. When we say get worse and worse and worse, is real. And there are victims who probably have no words to describe what hits them, especially in the last 2 months. And most importantly, in the last 2 weeks. Are you with me? So I was following a conversation where people who are in the food industry in Nigeria. When I say food industry, I'm talking about, caterers who are like caterers. I'm talking about, there is this, you don't call those ones caterers, you call them bakers. Those of you who are like bakers, those of you who are like pastry makers and bakers, bakers, pastry maker, bread and other stuff, right? Food generally. And these guys came up and one of them said, I don't think my business can survive this anymore. Listen, that person was kind of expressing how much this destroyed naira has hit her business. And it's going to be a matter of probably weeks now. She's going to have to close up and fold up with nothing. She said every day, the ingredients that they have to use, right, in their businesses, or should I say in their business rather, that every day they are becoming unaffordable. For example, for those who are like bakers, this lady was talking about the price of a flour, the price of a sugar, the price of a this, the price of that, and how this era in Nigeria within the next 8 weeks before the end of this year, how many thousands, if not hundreds of, tens or if not hundreds of thousands of businesses, I'm talking about small businesses that would have to fold up. Why? Because they can no longer afford to meet up their clients' demands because of the crashing naira in the market. For example, you got a bag of sugar, right? A bag of sugar of 5 kg that probably, I'm just making up this number now, okay? According to them, that was about 2,000 naira. And suddenly, it is now 3,150 naira. That is more than a 65% increase, right? And some of them they started sharing their experiences, and they were like, even the one I got for so 2 days ago, now it has increased by over 1,000, over 200, over 500. And in most cases, they have to like start calling their own clients and asking for more money. Imagine those who have booked ahead, and then somebody has to say, well, I'm so sorry for that, your wedding cake. You might need to add some more money. That money that I charged you, I can no longer supply or meet up, because even the money cannot procure half of the ingredient we need to get you that thing. Now, this is affecting, I'm talking about small piece. You know, when we were growing up, politicians, criminal politicians in Nigeria, they have something they call empowerment. They can give poor people okada so that you can go and die, break your back, and become useless on wherever you become. You know what I mean? Or they will give you wheelbarrow so that if you are a carrier, carrier, somebody who help other people to carry their load on their heads, right? They give you wheelbarrow. That's a help. They give you water truck. You see those who push trucks for water, merua, all those merua in Nigeria. So politicians will go and they will ask welders to build trucks, water trucks, and they will give them as empowerment to poor people. Others, they will say, oh, skill acquisition program. You remember those days? They will teach you how to make soap. They will teach you how to make liquid and solid soap. They will teach you how to make shoes, how to make a cloth or dress, how to cook, bake, make cakes, make biscuits, and all that stuff, right? There are many people who actually went on to go and get these skills when Nigeria, some of them, because they couldn't get vocational skills, right? They call them vocational training centers. Politicians brought them, but there are other vocational training centers that are like a private. You can go there and train on anything. I don't know if they are still so much everywhere in Nigeria today, but when I was growing up, they were everywhere. Okay, so if you are a graduate and you are becoming you don't have job and you are becoming sort of a useless, you could be advised to go and get a skill from any of these skill acquisition vocational training centers, right? Some of them sponsored. Politicians will buy the forms for you during elections. They'll get you the form, the training. These are like substitutes for a failed system that said if you don't educate yourself, you are going to suffer. Now you educated yourself, went to school, you are still suffering. So go and get a skill, they say. There are millions of Nigerians who are surviving based on these skills that they acquired one time. And most of these skills, they acquired them outside the school, the school buildings. So some people are surviving on them, building and all. Making cakes. Some are actually raising their family through these, small businesses. But you see, these small businesses, they have been dying since 2015. So many of you know that. It has gotten to a stage whereby, you see, when you go out to the canteen, food vendors, some of them, some of you probably can testify to this. There are some of these food vendors that you usually see around there, but they are no longer around. You know why? They can no longer afford to buy rice, to buy pepper, to buy everything, and cook you that meal. And they will continue to reduce and reduce and reduce until you understand what the damages they have done to Naira is, the effect of the damages they have done to Naira actually means, right? So small businesses are dying, and all these guys are not getting any help. And unfortunately, the person in charge of the Nigerian economy, the head of the Nigerian economic team, is no other person than Pastor Ruga, the Kenneth Shatabandu. That's fake Pastor Ruga, Bokwari's vice. Nobody is really mentioning him of late, yeah? Because it's like himself and Bokwari, they just can't wait to get out of this whole thing. They have completely abandoned you, abandoned Nigeria, abandoned their governance, everything. Every other thing they are doing right now is ceremonial. Now, that effect of that Naira on your economy, I thought it's not going to happen until December, but now I realize that by December, we'll likely just be counting the casualties, the victims of what they have done. So as you are planning to go and vote for them, as you are planning to go and mobilize for them, whatever you are trying to do in your small space there, okay, just remember this. It is a free one, oh. Just remember that these guys have not in any way told you how they are going to get you out of this mess. Now, if you make any of those decisions of keeping Nigeria for them, you are keeping it for the continuation of your sufferings. Something that you should be aware of if you are signing up. Like, say, if you are dotting the line, if you are signing for something, you should read the terms and conditions. I haven't seen any of them that has actually like said, ow, because if any of them want to be truthful to you, right, they will say, if we want to get out of this mess, we cannot solve Nigeria problem just same and by same way we created them. Okay, it was during this. It was democracy they gave to you in 1999. In 2015, they brought in APC. Democracy brought in APC. 7 years after that, they pick on themselves. Some are picking themselves up at the border, trying to escape. Others are picking themselves up at the morgue simply because of their lost loved ones. Everybody is screaming, crying in 7 years. So they are telling you democracy is what you still need to get to go and choose another handlers who are just going to extend your slavery, your suffering, and everything you've complained of today, everything you've prayed against. You are indirectly encouraging them to continue, because the problem you are facing today were created because of your democracy, which is not democracy, by the way, right? Now, they are telling you to go and get PVC so that you can choose another criminals in order to solve the problems created. Get PVC to get other criminals who are going to solve the problem created by the last time you got PVC. And every time you got PVC that you renew the contract of these criminals, right? You will still need PVC to get them out of and get and give the mandate to another person. You are doing same thing again and again and again. And they told you, they're telling you you're going to get a different result. In my book, those who are doing that are actually suffering from the symptoms of insanity, madness. Most of the time, those who suffer from this don't even know. They argue, no, I'm not mad. We have to continue to do our best to make Nigeria work. That's madness. That's what your fathers did. You probably didn't know. Do you? Yeah, your fathers, your forefathers, those before you, your progenitors, your ancestors, they told themselves they were fighting to make Nigeria better so that you won't have to. Look at you. You are fighting to make Nigeria better. Your children are going to also, you're going to grow old. If you are lucky, going to grow old, tired, and weak. And you're full of regrets. You know, one of those regrets that many people are having today. In secret, too, for those who are not saying them in public, they're like, oh, how we wish they have allowed the Biafrans to go then. Win or lose or, sink or swim, right? Today, they would never have blamed anything or, in fact, call anybody's name for whatever or wherever they found themselves 50 years after they attempted to leave. Because why did they keep them? Why did you keep Biafrans? So that we can all suffer together and say, no, nobody they go anywhere. We'll go see this shege together. Now, you can't keep doing that. And at the same time, keep telling yourselves that you are working, you are doing your best for the greater Nigeria. You are lying to yourselves. There's nothing you say today. There's no anger you show today. There's no sort of a displeasure you show today about Nigeria. There's no any amount of activism you are showing up today that people have not shown something stronger. Listen, there were people that on their own with their sponsor, they wanted to take over the government of Nigeria. Yes, that happened. That's how much they are frustrated. They were frustrated, right? So there's nothing you want to do. If you attempt to do that in the name of Nigeria, you are repeating the same mistake of your own ancestors. And in my own book, now mad people, they say they try same thing again and again and hope that they will get a different result. Now, we agree that a lot of us are mad in that Nigeria. 60 million of you are currently suffering from chronic mental problems. And they are still your car driver, they are still your taxi driver, they are still your nurses, they are still your doctors, they are still your pepper seller, they are still your accountant in the bank, they are still your cashier in that same bank. They are still the same people working as psychologists for you. Over 60 million mad people mixed up with everybody, but they are wearing clean clothes, but they are carrying a dirty, messed up, mentality. And in that case, let's see how messed up we are. So that is why it's easier for you to keep doing something again and again and hope you get a different result. There's something you haven't tried, and that something is that you can try it, you can choose not to, but at the same time, just remember, you cannot fool everybody all the time, okay? You can fool some people sometimes, or you can fool some people all the time, or you can fool all people sometimes, right? But you can never fool all the people all the time. Which means you can lie to the rest of the world, even you can lie to yourself, but you will know you are lying to yourselves. And that's exactly what Nigeria has been. Something you haven't tried, something they said you shouldn't try. Because if you try that, it will be in your interest, not in their own interest. Nigeria will continue to hemorrhage. Nigeria will continue to be depreciated. We continue to depreciate. Nigeria is going to continue to experience this because many of you are going to get used to it. Those before you, they got used to the Nigeria of their own time. This is Nigeria of your own time, okay? No matter how bad you think it is, when you continue to try to want to fix it by keeping it, or again, arguing that Nigeria will be great, when you know that every action of the criminals in charge of Nigeria, all of their actions are not pointing towards a would-be great country. Every action of theirs is pointing towards a failed country and a country that is about to experience something that some of you have never experienced in your lives. Yes, you haven't. And that is why I said that you see what you are experiencing today in Nigeria. This is Nigeria of your own time. How you deal with it, how you handle it. If you're going to keep it for your children, fine. Maybe your parents did keep it for you. I mean, I am 38. My dad would have been probably 70, maybe 75 or 74, 75 if he was alive today. But sadly, he died about 5 years ago. But right. Which means he's not here to answer me and say, well, what did you do during your time? He probably just enjoyed himself. He was rich by that standard of that era. He was a young man who was rich, who had money, who had everything. He had women and all that. And it was what Nigeria was to them in that era, probably made somebody like him to say, I'll give birth to children who are going to come and see the shege when I'm no longer here. Your parents, I'm not going to say all of them, okay? Your parents, her parents, right? There's something they will say, you have to get used to it. They say, oh, instead of you rejecting it, why don't you just learn how to get used to it? So whatever you are witnessing today, this is your Nigeria of your time. If you do nothing and you continue to lie to yourself that you want to make it great, when the criminals who are destroying Nigeria are hell-bent in ensuring that as crippled as they have made the giant of Africa, it will remain crippled. If you are not careful, they will actually make that same Nigeria deaf and dumb and complete invalid if they haven't done that already. But why would you want to probably just keep that for your children? I don't want my children to grow. I don't want my daughter to grow up and become a 40-year-old woman, right? who will be sitting down here like me, telling our own generation that she is afraid, she doesn't want her own children to see what she's seeing, because she will see the shege. If you compare the shege you are seeing right now in Nigeria, compare that shege with the shege your parents saw. Even your parents are feeling sorry for you. Have you noticed? Elderly people, I'm talking about reasonable ones. So I'm not talking about those ones who mortgage your future. I'm not talking about the criminals. So I'm talking about when you talk to reasonable elderly people, they actually feel sorry for us. This generation, they be like, we are so sorry for you. We don't see you having access, genuinely having access to property ladder. We don't see you having access to, the generational wealth, or let me say the wealth of your generation. We don't see you tapping into the opportunities that many of us saw when we were younger, during our own time. Even though they might say, we saw shege too. We didn't have smartphone. We didn't have Google. We didn't have electricity. But we had hope. We built. In our era, the hardship was something that we would never want our children to see. But look at the shege we are seeing today. You have Google, you have internet, you have this, you have that. But we are still the poverty capital of the world. Opportunity is still what? Non-existent, right? Over 21 million children out of school. Over 80 to 100 million people currently out of job. Over 128 million people living in poverty. I mean, how do you think the elderly who lived 40, 50, 60 years, who were younger? I'm talking to all of you, all of you here now, who are like our elderly people, Mayegun's Diary Political. You will agree with me that when you were younger, when you were in your 40s, when you were in your 30s, when you were in your 20s, the shege you probably saw then, cannot be compared to what we are seeing now. You had a chance that as an independent country, if you manage to get yourself into school, you'll get a scholarship, you'll get a proper education, a proper one that prepares you, right? Empowers you, right? And then there are opportunities even before you finish that school. Look at the young people today. Look at them today. 10 years, no job. This, you know what I mean? No support, no nothing. And they will say, don't wait for what your government will do for you. Go and look for what you can do for yourself. How do you do something for yourself? How do you create something from nothing? Because the opportunities are no longer there. The whole opportunity basket has been depleted, saturated with gluttons, opportunists who have filled the entire place with their proxies, and you are left with nothing. So I said this, and I'm saying it now, that even though I don't want Kofo-Rola, my daughter, right? I don't want Kofo to become a 38-year-old woman, possibly married if she wants to get married, have kids if she chooses to have children, because we are getting to the world where, people will tell you, I don't want to bring children to this world. If any of my children comes and say, Daddy, I don't want to have any children, I don't want to bring them to this world. So I'll say, well, you know what? Follow your hearty. Here you get. Nobody go say, Mayegun no get picking when in their life. They go just say, some of them just no one get any children. Others will get. And they will still probably do that and keep the name. Whatever it is, just do what makes you happy. Because if I get choice, I for no bring all of you now. I thank God, say I have an opportunity to actually help you, okay, to bridge the storm of what the world has become and what it will still become when they grow up. When we were younger in my life, I was dreaming to be an adult. I was so jealous of adults. No, don't do that. You are too small for that. Hey, all of you, go inside. You are too small. You are children. I was so eager to grow up. Now that I'm an adult with responsibilities, bills, life trouble, and those who wanted to probably one day use me as a testimony of never to be this outspoken like that. You know that Mayegun, the guy no get anything again. If you see the guy, you go feel sorry for him. There are people who are waiting for that for me. Do you understand? Because I'm an adult. And I have to survive all of that. I have to make sure that I am not a failure because I'm an adult. I can't get away with anything. I have to do everything myself because I'm an adult. So you get what I'm trying to say? Now, I have realized that Omo, as they say in Yoruba, Onorun omu orugan inu ile ma hot you. So look at my children. I can be able to help them, all of them. I can help them to at least to get some, what do they call the shit? You go just, as the word they come, they punch them because God, the whole world will shake them too. The word shook me, shaped me, and gave me the sense of belonging to say, Omo, if I have to make my impact here, then I have to put my foot on ground. If it is what Nigeria wanted me to become, I will likely become nothing or an agent of oppression to others. Now, if I have to survive the whole storm, now I have to be the shield for my own children, something that I wasn't so lucky to get. I'm so grateful to my parents. They could do what they could do. But I wish they did more if they had the opportunity to do more. Now I'm going to do more for my children, right? But not all of us are going to have that same chance. But one day, I don't want a situation whereby my children will now, Koforola, my daughter, will sit down and say, I am now a public commentator because our father, they couldn't make life simpler and save us from these terrorists who took over Nigeria. Just like some of you wish your parents fought, they did this fight for you. Do you get that now? So that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So if you keep Nigeria, you are not keeping Nigeria for yourself. You should know that. Because the criminals in charge are not keeping Nigeria for you. You know that. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe you don't. But any shege where you are seeing right now, I'm talking to you now. Okay. You, especially you watching me from Lagos, or where are you watching from? Whatever shege you are seeing right now, I'm not saying you are not going to survive it. Oh, you are likely going to survive it. But not all of us go make them out of the shege. Some of us will go see the shege. We have been seeing the shege since them born us. Okay, we survive. They say one out of they say 1 out of 5 children born in Nigeria are really surviving their 5th birthday. That is, if they born 20 children right now, are you with me? 20 children in Nigeria. Out of the 20, only about 4 or 5 of them will celebrate their 5th birthday. That's they will reach 5 years. I'm not joking. No, mother's child mortality rate in Nigeria is a serious thing, but you don't really have any reliable data that could, even if you have the data, maybe every day that they keep people for Borno or keep people for everywhere. They worry you. Seriously? Have you ever been worried that they are killing or kidnapping people? Well, good for you that you are worried. I'm talking about some of you who are like, you have grown so cold, no empathy, no nothing. Are you with me? So I am lucky to be one of those who survived out of the children they gave birth to in January 1984. That was when I was born. No be all of us were then born for January 1984 in Nigeria made it to our 10th birthday. No be all of us made it to our 20th birthday. Some of us will remain now. Now those will remain. However, in fact, hang on. Sorry, I just got something there. Give me one quick one. I'll come back and continue this and we'll wrap it up tonight. Okay, don't go anywhere. I had to quickly reply something there, so I got that sorted. So like I was saying, I'm not saying you won't survive whatever shege you are going through right now in Nigeria. But not be all of you are going to survive. A lot of people are they drop by this roadside. Nigeria is happening to a lot of people silently. They are trying to keep it to themselves. Many of you are keeping it to yourselves. The shege Nigeria is showing you. But whatever shege you are seeing right now, look at me very well. whatever shege you are seeing right now in Nigeria, keeping Nigeria together as these criminals have arranged it and as they have also scripted it, and you are playing along that line, keeping this Nigeria together. Any shege where you see right now, it go be child's play to the shege your children are going to see. By then you would have become older. In 27 years time, Koforola, my daughter, will become 40 years old woman. And hi, dear papa, in 27 years, if I am lucky to live that long ago, okay, in 27 years, me, I will become 66 years old. 66 years old. I would not have this kind of strength anymore. I probably have retired myself into enjoying my grandchildren, playing with my grandchildren in my own orchard. You know what I mean? My own small estate or a small fiefdom I will build for myself and my children and my grandchildren here in the UK, in Scotland, and a part of a Yoruba land in Ijebu. That will be my country home. That is my own short dream. Oh, but you know one thing? You see, this Nigeria is a threat to my second dream. My first dream is that by the time I turn 50, Kofoworola, my daughter, would have married, probably have some children, one or two. Bolawo, my son, and every one of them like that. I don't want to give you everything anyway, okay? So I want to have a place where they can say, that guy, our Papa Mayegun, is already planning his own retirement, which means I won't be there trying to warn you anymore. It would have been the battle of the generation that will succeed us when we can no longer do what we are doing right now. Are you with me? So whatever shege you are seeing now, you can pretend you didn't hear me before, okay? Any shege you are seeing in Nigeria now, if you do nothing to stop it, if you continue to encourage the continued existence of this frauduria that these criminals have depleted and they continue to destroy, just imagine what it's going to be like in another 20 years. And that is why sometimes it is sad when we see those we believe have also seen the light and are trying to share that same crusade, that same evangelism of, hey, if you love Nigeria and you love Nigerians, you as Nigerian and Nigerians as you are, yeah? If you love Nigeria, breaking up of Nigeria is not a bad thing. The process of even discussing it, to even start a conversation around it, can actually be the beginning, that you can say the healing process. But you see, these guys are adamant. They are feeding fat from the chaos. They are spreading the fear, the murder, the killing, the incarceration, the looting. Everything you see around today are all expected as, are all being done by the criminals you call your leaders. So they are not in any way by accident. None of them is happening by accident. They will tell you this one is enemy, that one is enemy. But they are the real enemy who has created this vast empire of bloodletting called Nigeria. So breaking up of Nigeria is not to break up your life. It's not to break up your marriage. It's not to break up your relationship with other people. It's not to break up your religion. It's not to break anything in you. It is to break you from the shackle hold that these hegemonists, these genocidists, these kleptomaniacs, these pickpockets, these atlas code empathyless criminals are benefiting from. If you break that chain of let everybody handle their own affair, as we were in 1967, I'm sorry, 1957, from 1954, 1957 to 1963 until 1966 when they truncated everything. That gave us clarity. That gave us respect. It's called territorial respect, territorial integrity, territorial respect, boundary respect, and guess what? Traditional and cultural respect of one another. It was mutual. It wasn't this chaotic. And the growth was also competitive, not like today, where we have competitive hatred, competitive vileness, competitive, God, man, because that's what Nigeria represents. So the conversation around this is about the interest of the people. What really matters to you? I have said this many times, okay? The people are supposed to be the government. It is what the people want or how the people want to be governed that should be what you have in a book called Constitution. But in this case, you have no say in anything. We've got no say. It's just some set and selected few of opportunists. They call themselves a diplomat. They call themselves politicians, military. What's it called? The military industry. No, it's not industry. Oh, they have a name for them. Why did I forget that? Oh, military industrial complex. Is that it? Yeah. They are the power block, right? The politicians are the power brokers as well, right? And the elites are also power brokers who are like the part of the whole podu. None of them actually speaks for you. None of them. Nothing. Represent one Nigeria that says all of us actually came together to do this. You can live on so many lies they've told you. You can live on the lies you've told yourselves, okay? But the bottom line is this. The unpatriotic criminals who have done this to us, they are not stopping. They are not reducing or, they are not relaxing or slowing down. Now, you are not even making it difficult for them to continue to do this to you. So if you continue to defend them, if you continue to pray as they said you should pray, if you continue to hope that they will change their minds one day, or if you continue to hope that God will touch their hearts, well, let's go back to what I told you. Whatever you are seeing today is going to be a child's play to what your own children are going to face. And then I wish you good luck for possibly buying your way or buying the way for your children too. But it's so unfortunate, like the mother-child mortality rate I gave earlier, right? Now only few of us could survive them. The rest of us, we have been seeing shege from birth. We will see shege when we grow up. We will see shege when we grow old. In fact, when we die, we will still see shege. And it all because of one Nigeria. Nobody say you hate Nigeria for asking that Nigeria should consider the breakup where everybody can go their separate ways. We'll still be neighbors. We'll still be husband and wife. So, me from Ijebu, I have a Scottish partner. I have an Ijebu partner as well, right? Now, Scottish partner, Ijebu man in Scotland. So, you, Biafran man or a Biafran woman who is now, what do you call it, married to a German, a Germany, or you who is an American who is now married to Hajia Zainab from Kano. You see all those, there's no difference. Oh. So everybody go stay their country. If you want to be acknowledged by marriage, you earn it. If you want to be acknowledged by naturalization, you will earn it. All of these are going to help build the lost unity that the criminals in Nigeria have not been able to indeed do in the last 60 years. Ladies and gentlemen, for 60 years. Look at us. Go and read comments. Go and see the reactions of everyone. This 2023 election has now become ethnic and tribal politics, which has always been, by the way. But now you have an ethnic and tribal coloration attached to your presidential candidates here and there. And now everybody is threatening, intimidating one another. Hey, we go kill you. We no go kill you. We go do this to you. We no go do that to you because you want to save Nigeria. Don't worry. Continue. I'll stop there for now, and I'm going to see you some other time. I actually wanted to take calls, but you see that interruption we suffered earlier. It is never to happen again, if you ask me. Okay, so I am going to continue this some other time. So if they ask you what is the way out, okay, tell them, let the criminals in Nigeria ask Nigerians, okay, ask them, do you still want this Nigeria? And if you want this Nigeria, under what arrangement? That should be what you should be talking about right now, not an effort to revalidate your suffering certificates in the hands of your oppressors, who are never going to give up anyway, because it's so rewarding. Being a politician in Nigeria, or being part of the political office holders in Nigeria, or elite in Nigeria, is so rewarding. You can get away with anything. Tax evasion, corruption, and all manner of economic sabotage. But that will be impossible if the people are actually the owners of that power. And that power that your constitution should derive from anywhere should come from the people. That's not too much to ask. I know you will shut us down. You continue to try to shut us down. Say, shut up your mouth, and Nigeria will be great in our lifetime. Your papa said that too. Some of you know get sense. That is why you will never remember that your fathers, your parents, they also said, you go better, go better, go better. I was a baby, a young boy. When I don't hear you go better, go better. Look at you, idiot. At your age, 27-year-old boy, 35-year-old woman, you are saying God told you Nigeria go better, Nigeria go better. Are you not dumb? Maybe not. Or maybe you don't know. Whatever it is, it go better is what your parents said. Now you have become parents. You are still telling yourself, Nigeria is going to be great. It's not by saying it. The criminals in Nigeria, the criminals directing your life and dictating your life, the criminals that ruined your economy and continue to ruin it, they don't wish Nigeria well. You are just the only sick person who don't know that you are mad, thinking that, telling yourself that Nigeria will be great, Nigeria will be better, all the enemy of Nigeria will die, is actually going to make Nigeria great. It's a sign of madness. And if you have anything at all to make a change, it is to what? Stop saying that to yourself. Unity in Nigeria, progress in Nigeria, development in Nigeria, and everything they've told you will bring about a different Nigeria, they will have to come from you. Do you really want it? Under what terms and conditions? Now, they should derive their own rule from there. That's something they don't want to do. They should be able to ask you, do you want Nigeria or not? That is exactly what you should be doing, not trying to choose another set of criminals or renew the slavery certificates of your oppressors for another time, then turn around and say, hey, this people, anybody that doesn't want Nigeria to be great, God will put Denier Oponu. Even your criminal leaders know that if there is actually any real God that listens to you dumbos, it would have killed all of them long time ago. You will never have any of them to even defend anymore. You will have nobody to defend. If that same God that they have told you to shout on, that your sky daddy, that Nigerian God, the one that you always call to punish the enemy of your oppressors, you dumbos, if that a fake God exists, most of your criminal leaders will be dead by now. Because I know how many of you that pray, I know those of you who pray that God should kill those criminal leaders of PDP. Others are praying that every criminal leaders, all those people who have made your life a hell in APC, that God should destroy them. Or rather, now you, that your fake God has been destroying. They've destroyed your economy. They've destroyed the life of your youth. They have destroyed the life of the children. They have destroyed everything they've touched. And you are the victims of those. But where's your sky daddy? He doesn't give a damn about you, because he's more than just asking Sky Daddy to come and fight for you. When you are so full of hypocrisy, where you choose your oppressors the way you wanted them, and on the other hand, because the other oppressor that you don't like, you want that your Sky Daddy to destroy them, at the end of the day, you are the ones being destroyed. Have you not noticed? You have been the one who have to live through a terrible economy, joblessness, a trashy currency. You are the one who have to live through the trauma of terrorism. You are the ones who have to live through all of this. What does that tell you? It tells you that what you need is beyond just wishing. Enemy of Nigeria will die. You are dumb. And I'm not sorry to tell you. See, I'm not really sorry to tell you. You are dumb, and that's the reason why they will need you to continue to validate and revalidate your slavery license. I've told you, it's not popular telling you that if you love Nigeria, please break up Nigeria, please. And that is why we are saying, hey, come and break it now. You sit down in Scotland, you are looking for, you want Nigeria to have trouble. I have been dealing with mentally destroyed people like yourself many times on my Gunstari Political. Why do you think we call this platform a therapy platform for some of you who some of you that Nigeria have destroyed your psyches. Nigeria have destroyed your thinking mentalities. Nigeria have destroyed your self-esteem. Nigeria has destroyed you. Many of you are just walking empty shell of yourselves. So on this platform, I do my best to rejig your memory, to see if there's something still left there living, not dead, in your head. And that's what I speak to every night. I speak to that thing in your head. I'm talking about all of you, the unboot slaves, the obedient fools, the sophisticated morons, the one Nigerianist dumbos. Why do you think I do this all the night? Because I'm hoping, I'm praying that all these messages will actually meet one of the living cells in your brains that will likely act and awake the rest of the dead cells in your brains. Because you do the same thing again and again and again, you expect a different result. You point fingers at those who are trying to revive you, to save you from the calamities you brought upon yourselves. And if you are the only ones who are going to die from the consequences of your madness and choices, we would have said maybe fear enough. But so many of you won't be the only person who suffer from this. Others who have never been part of this are also suffering from the consequences of, you sit down from abroad, you sit down in the UK, you want Nigeria. No. You are born in Nigeria already. Your criminal leaders are born in Nigeria already. It is not because we are speaking from the UK or we are speaking from abroad. That is why your Naira is now a trashy toilet paper. It is not because we are speaking from the UK and then, talking about Nigeria. That is why you have, your country is in debt. Not because we are speaking from outside Nigeria and raising alarm of what they are doing. That is why, right, more of you have been killed by terrorists, or more of you have been kidnapped by terrorists. And then the terrorism industry in Nigeria is booming. Not because we are speaking. In fact, because we are speaking is the reason why some of you even understand that the reason why your life is miserable, the reason why you have been in hell in Nigeria, it's not because of the village people. It's not because of your grandma. It's not because of your papa's second wife or your mama's first wife. It's not because of somebody who is a witch on your street. It is because you have been choosing unfortunateness upon your lives. You have been choosing everything that will make you unfortunate all your lives, and you didn't know. That is why we continue to remind you. I am just your therapist. Okay, I am not your problem. I'm not the reasons why your life is miserable. I'm not the reasons why you are living in poverty. I'm not the reasons why your criminal politicians are getting away with their crimes. I'm not the reason. I am the reasons why you are even thinking that could they actually be the problem of my life? Yes, they are. So if you want it better, if you want it different, you can't have it in Nigeria. You can't have it by doing the same thing again and again. And you can't have it by blaming people for the choices you make. Are you with me? So until something shifts, until something changes, we will never stop talking and we will never stop pointing this out. And guess what? Something is going to change. So we urge those who, I've told you before, I said, Mayegun's Diary Political is a political, is a politics diary. No, don't mix it up. It is the diary for all political happenings, the consequences of all the political happenings in Nigeria, and how much of that is contributing to whatever we are witnessing today as a people. And how can we get out of that? The only way we can get out of that is to make sure that people know why they are going through what they are going through. And if they want out of that, what they are going through, they can't do same thing. They can't keep doing same thing again and again, and then expect a different result. And that's why I give my support to everybody who has risen, who have stood up against this rigged system. Mayegun's diary political keeps all the record of the happenings, and then as a teacher, try my best to make sure that those who know the truth never go back to the lies. And if the number keep rising, if the number is right, there is going to be what you can say a collaborative revolution, something that they said is going to be revolution of the mind. Oh, revolution of the mind, revolution of the mind. That's what I'm doing. And you can only revolutionize a mind that is informed. And that's why we have the diary. And I said, when you see those who said they were revolution now, I say, yeah, revolution now. When our people rose and said that, we need to break up, they agree with Mayegun, we need to go our separate ways. We have the Biafrans, we have the Yoruba nation, we have the Middle Beltans called the Kwara Republic. That's the people of the Middle Belt. Then you have the Ijaw nation as well. I said, everybody, you are all what you say you are because of the injustice that Nigeria is built on. Nigeria is built upon injustice, the blood of others, the blood of the innocent, and the rest of that. So if you are asking for Biafra, asking for Yoruba nation, asking for Kwara nation, asking for Ijaw nation, asking for Arewa nation, asking for revolution now, whatever you're asking for means that you are opposing the current status quo, then you're my friend. Mayegun is not an agitator. Mayegun is not a leader of a Yoruba nation and what have you. Mayegun is not a Biafra nation agitator. Mayegun is a master class of his own, where all those who have one stone or the other to grind with Nigeria, everyone who has come to term that we can't really make it out of this dungeon, this contraption, if we continue to keep it alive. Everyone who has one thing or the other against this same system, they found solace in the temple of truth. Mayegun diary political, Mayegun general. I am just so fortunate to be a Yoruba man who come from the nation of great men and women, people of history, people who have we actually have our own religion. I'm a Yoruba man, and immediately when I get to see that more and more people are agreeing that we'll do better on our own. Yes, we'll do better on our own. What do you want me to do than to use my own platform to give them also support? But that never changed what Mayegun stands for. Justice. Mayegun will speak against injustice. It doesn't matter whose ox is God. It doesn't matter who is the victim. Biafrans, Yorubas, Ijaws, Shiites, Muslims, Christians, Babalawos, Mamalao. It doesn't matter. The system called Nigerian system is rigged against all of us. And if we must have it better, we must break it up to save our lives. Right? So when we started seeing others that are like putting up the old face, like, yeah, Biafra now, IPOB now, Yoruba nation now. I was like, yeah, I'm a Yoruba man. Welcome to my temple, the temple where you are comfortable and you can speak about this and learn about it. And I did contribute a lot towards that. But you know what I found out? There are so many clowns. There are so many mentally deranged people. There are so many opportunists. There are so many infiltrators, opportunists who have seen a chance to also use this Biafra nation, Yoruba nation as a means of their own survivor hustling. And it is so sad though, because you know what? There are millions of people who genuinely are looking forward to a day they will have the chance, right, of choosing, of making a choice that if they want to be part of Nigeria or they don't want to be part of Nigeria. People will tell you, a lot of people, when they are asked, if they are asked to choose, they won't choose Nigeria. One thing that the Nigerian opportunists have been banking on, that the reason why they say they would never allow any of us to choose or decide that. But because of Yoruba nation, because of Biafra Republic, you now have a different number of mad people who are now projecting, who are now prophesying, who are now commanding, who are now making different, all kind of wield utterances. And it beats so much imagination to see some of you actually listening to them. Very sad, right? But that's not what we want to talk about tonight, okay? I just thought I should touch that. The news that came to us, I've told you. When some people came out and they said they are going to give you Yoruba Nation by December, I heard that they have changed the dates now. They won't give you Yoruba Nation in December anymore, okay? They are now waiting for the command of God. So everybody should pray and praise and worship because Yoruba Nation has come. A date has been given, and all those manner of all manner of distraction and nonsense going about, okay? But the bottom line is this: before December, there are so many things that are going to come to light. I'm saying this to some of you who are like the real genuine Yoruba, sons and daughters who indeed are waiting for the right time, right, to get out of this Nigeria. They've told you many lies. They have misled you many times. Some of you have become even angrier if somebody tells you this is not true. No, that's not true. You become angrier. You become agitated. You become so like, hey, well, our leaders said, who is your leader? Who are your leaders? So the news came and they said that Baba Dino has resigned his deputy Alano membership. A week ago, somebody told me that initially they were looking into a possibility of, getting Professor Akintoye to sack Baba Adeniran because of some, should I say, policy disagreement or something. But there's no policy disagreement, okay? It is just about some of the things that Tinubu has been pushing for a while. Are you with me? So it's now coming home. So I will tell you this, and I've said this many times. I said, number one, if you are following Mayegun, please, you are advised to manage your expectation. I don't give command. I don't give what have you. And I'm not here to tell you that I'm going to give you Yoruba Nation. Okay? So between now and December, I think the whole bubble is going to burst. That's if it takes that long. Okay? A lot of things has gone on in the last 6 months. And it seems that a lot of people are going to dance naked on this issue of Biafra and this issue of Yoruba Nation. Okay? Though they would like you continue to patch it for those who are actually like milking it, right? But I thought it won't take that long, but it seems to be happening so fast. December is still long. I can tell you this. The next couple of days, you're going to see so much drama that are going to break your heart. You're going to hear some certain things that are going to make you feel like, oh my God. So did they lie to us? Were they playing us? Was this kind of group of people who have took advantage of what you genuinely want? And at the end of the day, they can no longer continue the scheme, the scam, and the rest of that anymore. A lot is going to play out. Like I said, I wish I could start giving you names now, but it is not what we wanted to talk about tonight, okay? So, but pay attention very well. Pay a very, very clear and close attention very well to these characters, all right? A lot is going to be unraveled. So, I was going to take calls, but my time and the interruption we suffered earlier won't let me do most of that, okay? So, I'm going to see you some other time, maybe tomorrow evening again. So, until then, please stay safe and stay away from all of this water and the violence of these people who want to save Nigeria. I would say stay away as much as you can. Until I see you next time. So good night. from here.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀.